Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back to the REwilding challenge designed to help me and you, if you join me, decrease inflammation and increase enjoyment of life. Today's challenge is fast, which I have been doing. Fasting. I was fasting while fishing. If you checked out the live video from day 5 yesterday, so long ago, that might be funny to you. Maybe not. Okay. Day 6, fast. First thing right now, determine your current fasting feeding rhythm. What is your current fasting feeding rhythm most of the time? And it's super, super simple. When do you stop taking in calories in a day? Again, on average, like what is the last sip of wine that you have, or the last morsel of dessert? About what time do you stop eating? And then determine, when do you begin taking in calories on a typical day? It could be something as simple as, like, if you're adding anything to your coffee, when is that? Or it's a piece of fruit, or it's a pastry, whatever it is. That time in between when you stop eating and start eating the next day, break your fast, that is your fasting time. It's the period within a 24-hour cycle that you're not taking in calories. So it's 24 minus your fasting time equals your feeding time. So from when you stop eating to when you start eating is your fasting time. 24 hours in a day minus the fasting time is your feeding time. You didn't know that you were going to get to do so much math. All right. An example of that is, if you finish eating at 8 p.m. and let's say you add milk to your coffee at 7 a.m., then your fasting window is from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. or 11 hours. So that would mean your feeding window is 24 minus 11, 13 hours. So we would call that an 11-13, fasting for 11 hours, feeding for 13 hours. Why is that so important to know? Because you might want to write this down. You definitely want to remember this. So whatever you have to do to remember this, it takes 13 hours without food, without any caloric intake, for autophagy to start. Autophagy. Yeah, that's our vocab word for today. Autophagy, autophagy. What autophagy is your body cleaning house. It's your body healing. For your body to start cleaning house at the cellular level, which is what autophagy is, for that to happen, you have to not eat anything for at least 13 hours. So autophagy equals cleaning house and healing. When you fast for more than 13 hours, your body has a chance to digest what it no longer needs. It has an opportunity to digest inflammation. Therefore, autophagy is vital for vitality. And again, it only starts after 13 hours without calories. Intermittent fasting. Who's heard of intermittent fasting, or IF? Intermittent fasting is a free, it's a convenient way, it's a flexible way, it's a simple way to fast. The benefits of IF are absolutely remarkable. Folks who are into intermittent fasting have better energy, more stable energy, better mental health. intermittent fasting improves your mental health. It also leads to a more relaxed, content, easeful demeanor. It allows you to focus more, to concentrate, to feel awake and alive, to be more attentive, to feel more fulfilled. Wait for it. There it is. The old 11:11, right on time, as my dad would say. Intermittent fasting, it also actually frees up time and money. Frees up time and money. Yeah. Which is often, those are the two things that I have found most people are concerned with, especially when it comes to changing behavior, is they don't have the time and they don't have the money. Well, what I have learned myself personally, and from working with dozens and dozens of people on shifting their behavior to feel better in life over the last 10 years, is that it frees up time and money to make choices to feel better. All right, back to fasting. Now, if your feeding time is, say, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, if your feeding time is anything under 13 hours, and you often feel sluggish, or you feel heavy, or you feel tired, or you're forgetful, you misplace things, you have a difficult time focusing. A big part of that is because you're overloading your body and you're not giving yourself time to deal with the burden of food. I did a talk a couple months ago. I did a wellness workshop. I do one every month. And a couple months ago, I did it on intermittent fasting. There is a recording of it. If you did not come to that wellness workshop and you are interested in learning more about intermittent fasting, its benefits, how to do it, I left the registration for that up on my online store, Beombrella, Beombrella, Beombrella. It's still in the store, so folks afterwards could still have access to it, along with the slide deck. So you can get the recording and the slide deck. I will put a link to that in the comments. That will be more easeful for you. For today's challenge, understand that if you practice intermittent fasting, there's not one size fits all. You can do it more gently. You can do it more profoundly. That's up to you. And again, it's simple. You eat during a chosen time, your feeding time, and you don't take in calories outside of that range of time. Water is fine. Water is great. Water will help you decrease more of that inflammation. Some drinks are okay also. Herbal teas are okay as long as you're not putting stuff in it. And like straight coffee is okay as well. So perhaps today for your intermittent fasting challenge, or your fasting challenge for day 6 of rewilding yourself, maybe you skip supper, or maybe you plan to skip a meal tomorrow and instead sip on warm water. And if you did not hear the live from day 1 about sipping on warm water, listen to that. An important first step, I guess not an important first step, a practical first step for a lot of people is simply skipping a meal. Ideally, breakfast or dinner, because we want to eat most of our calories in the middle of the day when our digestive fire is strongest, when the sun is highest in the sky. So decide on a feeding time, fasting time for you, ideally over 13 hours most of the time, so that your body can access autophagy. And then you just don't take in calories outside of that time. So for some people, starting this practice with skipping breakfast or skipping supper is ideal. And maybe you do it once, and maybe you run a 1-week experiment and you decide to do it a few times within 1 week and see how you feel. Another really excellent place to start is what's called a 16-8 rhythm, which a lot of people have heard about in the media. 16-8, so 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of feeding. That's the baseline. That's the baseline daily fasting rhythm. It takes our 24-hour cycle and it breaks it into 3 8-hour parts. More math. Who knew the REwilding challenge would have so much math? But it breaks it into 3 8-hour parts. There's 2 fasting parts and 1 feeding part. One of those fasting parts, you're sleeping. So we got that going for us. If you are interested in learning more about the really essential body rhythm of having your stomach be completely contracted, completely at rest before expanding into action again, just like your lungs do. We want to take full inhalations and full exhalations. We want our stomach to expand, be satiated with a meal, and then completely empty out. If you're interested in learning about how intermittent fasting leads to focus, leads to fat metabolism, leads to rejuvenation, and also allows you to have less precancerous cells in your body, less inflammation, less stress, more cell repair. If you want to learn about having more stem cell regeneration, more tissue regeneration, highly, highly recommend that you check out the intermittent fasting workshop that I did in my online store. I will put the link down there. You'll get the recording. It's $9. It's $9. You'll get the recording and you'll get the slide deck for it. So to wrap this up, the challenge for today is fast. Really, actually though, I encourage you to do a 1-week experiment with this challenge. So determine your fast feed time rhythm and plan accordingly. Open up your calendar, your online calendar, your paper calendar. Put it in there. Put your feed fast time, put your eating window in your calendar, just like you would put a work meeting or a social gathering in your calendar. Put your feed fast time in your calendar. A few other pro tips on fasting. Schedule your feeding time for when you know you're hungriest during the day. There's one. Another one is only drink water and teas and black coffee during your fasting time. No sweeteners. A third is stay active. During those fast times, stay active. Go for a walk. Garden. Play a board game. Write some cards to people. Stay active. Another tip, if you feel heavy and you can manage it, fast for longer. Fast longer and walk more. Fast longer, walk more if you feel heavy. And then another pro tip is look at your calendar and really consider any social engagements you have coming up, any work commitments that you have coming up, and plan your fast feed time to allow for those things. Of course, remove any obvious temptations from the kitchen, from your office. Do your best to remove obvious temptations. And the last pro tip is don't make a big deal about it. Don't make a big deal about it. Everything's okay. All is well. This too shall pass. I'm going to close this live for now. I'm going to put the link to get the intermittent fasting workshop in the comments below. I will see you tomorrow for day 7 after day 6. Fast, y'all.